Welcome to season 2 of the LB Show. I'm LB. This season, we're changing it up just a little bit. We're giving you more facts and less opinion. Make sure you go to our website to check out all of our resources so that you can do some additional research on your own. Now, prepare to get stung because the solve is not included. Welcome back, all you beehivers. We're here. We're still talking about double standards in sports. Today we have with us a very special guest. Her name is Eden Short. She's right here.
Hello, hello.
She is an athlete that has played well over 10 sports, including soccer, track, swimming, basketball, and tennis, which she played throughout her collegiate career. So that means that she's really good. So we're going to talk with her today about some of the things that she has experienced when it comes to double standards and being a woman and playing sports. So first, how are you doing today, Eden?
Very good. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for agreeing to come on our show.
Of course.
We appreciate you.
It's a privilege.
Yeah. Thanks. Also, she's getting her MBA, so that means that she's also a smart person. Hello. So tell us about your experience playing sports while you were growing up.
Well, the whole purpose growing up playing multiple sports was to get just an understanding of my athletic ability. Okay. So not isolating myself to one sport and concentrating on it for forever. I feel that I can appreciate that experience, getting able to just be a well-rounded athlete in general. I definitely became very interested in soccer growing up. Okay. Probably for about 5 or 6 years. But with soccer, it gets competitive very quickly. If you have intentions of playing at a high level, you figure it out early. Yeah. So that got me to multiple very, very, very successful teams. But it also led to the connections and getting into the position of elevating that career. Okay. I grew up in the southwest suburbs of Chicago, so
shout out.
But when we got to those competitive teams, all of my team, I was the only black player in general, a majority of my teams. So I've experienced that being the only one, that isolation, if you let it, right?
Right.
Thankfully,
that was a key thing. If you let it, because you have to have that mental stamina, which sometimes people don't have because it can be a little bit overwhelming, or it can be too much because it's just like nobody really understands what you're going through.
For sure.
Yeah, I get that.
And I can appreciate my parents too, because I was somewhat naive because I was having a lot of battles fought for me behind the scenes and I had no clue. Right? I'm just happy to be there. I'm winning, I'm scoring, I'm doing all the
go team.
Right? And I'm thinking it's reciprocated, but it's a whole lot of battles that are being fought on my behalf behind the scenes from my brothers. Literally, it was so many people hands on me that I had no clue. I had no clue. And that kind of leads to that double standards, where me being the only black player on that team, being more talented, whether it was admitted or not, it was very clear.
Natural ability.
Entirely. And
they hate that.
How hard I had to work to convince these people that, hey, I'm good.
Right.
Forget the numbers. If I don't look like the rest of this team, I've got to do so much more work convincing that I'm better. It's not like I'm equal or close to, I'm better.
Confidence to know that you're better, and then that whole you have to work twice as hard just to be half as good situation that black women continue to face now. It's just like, ugh. And can we get past that, please?
Yeah, and I didn't know, because I knew what I was capable of. I knew my talent. I would have a swagger to me in my participation, because I knew what I was capable of. I could have a little confidence. It's not cocky. It's not there. You can walk with a different kind of step because you know that you've put in the time, effort. Your parents have invested all of these things. You know what's gone into it, so you can approach it a little bit differently. Right. That wasn't liked. Right?
Of course not. People never like when somebody is confident in their abilities of what they know they can do.
It was like, who do you think you are?
Yes.
And I'm a kid thinking, well, we don't see the stats.
That's who I am. You see them stats?
Yeah, where's the confusion?
Right.
And for me, it definitely made me grow up a tad bit faster because I wasn't able to be the little naive little athlete, right? You definitely had to
Unfortunately, and it's like,
so unfortunate. It's unfair.
Like, why do you have to have that level of maturity at such a young age when you just want to play?
Yeah, I was 11 when I understood it's who you know, not what you know.
Yes.
Why?
Right.
So I'm over here understanding the facade, how to be soft, how to be continue to perpetuate this narrative like I can be all I need help. It was foreign to me.
I don't need help.
Exactly.
I got this.
And it was so foreign to me, like, wait, I need to slow down and ask for help because it's that building the connection.
Right.
Because ultimately it's business, but that's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other that's a later conversation.
Literally, yes. But just understanding that concept so young, and I know my counterparts didn't have to. I know they didn't.
Of course they didn't. Why would they?
It was completely unnecessary. Right. They got what they wanted.
Exactly.
Just cause it was no conversation in the car rides home like, hey, this person did XYZ, you need to step that, watch your back here, you need to communicate a little bit better here, you need to show willingness to learn. It's a whole process for what might come natural on that side.
Right.
So no, I can definitely appreciate it because it's definitely developed me into the athlete that I am today, and I was able to use those lessons learned in juniors, and that's just soccer. So tennis is a whole other story.
Not to mention all of the other things. So, like, when you have tennis, you know, that's a singular thing unless you're playing doubles, and then soccer is a team effort.
Yep.
So it's like when you have things like soccer or basketball or track, if you're doing relays and stuff like that, it's a group effort. So if one person is messing up, then that could cost the game for the whole team. But then when you have these other things like swimming, which, can be a group effort if you're on a relay team for swimming, or it cannot be. You could just do individuals. You have that option. I mean, you have that option for track too, where you can do individuals or teams. But it's like, when you're by yourself, then you really can have more of your personality show what you can do, and not necessarily have to say, oh, well, let me not be too good because I don't want to outshine Becky or Care Bear or whatever, or, little Julie or Samantha, whoever.
Mad Dog. I'm very familiar, and that's that part where when you're part of the team and it's so easy to isolate, I can appreciate that playing an individual sport, or predominantly independent, as you described earlier.
Yeah.
So that's what really let me step out, because when I stopped playing soccer and started playing tennis, I had a conversation with my parents, and it was, this is the last time someone else is going to determine how far you go when you go there.
That part.
I can't do anything on my own in soccer. I can't. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Because you can't be the goalie, you can't be the forward, you can't be the center, you can't be the scorer, you can't do all of that stuff.
And I don't want to depend on others.
Right.
So playing tennis, it was transformative in the sense where I can do anything I want to do. I can sign up for any tournament, any state at any time, right? I can do any lesson, go anywhere, and I definitely had that privilege of having parents who could, provide that kind of thing. But
shout out to the parents.
No, right? But it's definitely a complete 180. So in tennis, it's isolating for sure, but I know it's me. I can depend on me.
What's your best serve or swing? Like,
I love serve. I love serve. Yeah, serve for sure.
What's your top speed?
114.
Ooh, she got some power back there.
But then I can serve by myself all day, and I can go and apply it to my game every single point, right? So it just came into the point where I know what what my counterparts might experience. I know conversations that they might have to go through, whatever. But back to the topic, the double standards. I don't have to experience that as much as I did when it comes to the legitimate talent. When it comes to talent alone, I don't have to depend or experience that as much. Right. But when it comes to my character, how I carry myself, how loud I scream, how hard I hit the ball, any type of emotion I might feel, any frustration, whatever it may be, that's when it comes into play. So I can appreciate with tennis. You can't knock my game
Oh,
if I win, I win.
Right.
But of course, there's always going to be something that someone's looking forward to criticize
of
and
course.
Exacerbate just for conversation.
Just like, oh, she makes too much noise.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like her braids.
It's distracting.
Oh, her skirt is too short. Like, everybody got on the same skirt. How is my skirt shorter? Is it because my butt is big? I mean, make it make sense.
And I can't control those things.
Okay, that's
if
natural.
I'm passionate.
That's natural. I got natural curves.
Match me.
Get off me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never could get my backhand under control, which is why I stopped playing tennis.
You go funny?
It was rough. I used to play tennis, and like I had like a great serve, like my first serve, killing them.
I heard that show.
But that backhand, struggle. It was a struggle. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what type of double standards you face just throughout your athletic career.
Most definitely. So the most recent that I can recall, it's going to be end of season awards.
Okay.
Where I might have gone through something in the semester, got reprimanded, whatever. Still, the accolades lined up, the statistics lined up. I received such an award. The following year, the same exact situation where I wasn't in the wrong, but another person was, and we both received the same exact award. It's very vague, but okay. So in short, I had posted something on social media.
Okay.
Got in trouble for it.
That'll do it.
It is what it is. You live and you learn.
Haters.
However, I still ended up winning MVP.
Okay.
Because statistics, it goes off of that, right?
Because that's what it should go off of. Your
precisely.
numbers, with your performance, what you're actually doing, not what you say.
But very well stated. Thank you. Yep.
Yes.
The following year, the daughter of my head coach did
Nepotism.
the exact same thing. So the difference of my social media post, it was about me and my discomfort. Whereas her social media post was specifically targeting me. Talking very, very, very bad about me. Specifically, name drop everything. However, at the end of the season, he gave both me and his daughter the MVP award.
No, Becky.
So I'm like, okay, so this is weird. So first season, she didn't like he and his daughter, we didn't really interact.
Is this on the soccer team?
Tennis.
Tennis.
Completely separate playing positions. It was completely different. Okay. However, when I was reprimanded, I got in trouble, cool, fine, move on. Still got my award. When it was his daughter, the awards were split. And then later on, when another girl had gotten we had a very different season, right? It wasn't very good. It is what it is. It was high school. It wasn't high school tennis beginners,
right?
And she took the award over me. He gave the award over her, or gave the award to her over me. And I'm like, okay, so are we going off tennis? Are we going off character? What are we going off of now? Because at this point, you just keep moving the finish line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so I know what it takes. And I'm like, I know what it takes to get this award. I won it. But when I'm in the wrong, it gets split.
Yes.
But when this other person's in the wrong, they just get it, and I'm just left out to dry. It's just very odd. So that's the double standard where I might do something, I get in trouble, but if somebody close to you, head coach, daughter, whatever, they get in trouble. But they still get the MVP? Yeah. Where's what I got?
I'm calling bullshit because that's exactly what the fuck
I didn't go to the I was so offended.
I would have been offended too.
Just like,
you're not gonna take all of my hard work, and because I said one little thing
about me,
about myself, which is me expressing my frustrations, and then to turn it around and have the person who just happens to be your daughter
specifically call me out,
say something about me, and then she still get the MVP.
Absolutely
Nepotism
not.
At its finest.
Absolutely not.
No, Becky. We not feeling that over here, because that is some bullshit.
Oh, there's just so many emotions coming back. But
it's fine. You know, we gotta let the emotions out, because that's the other thing. It's just like when we do express our emotions, it's just like, oh, you're angry
and unsatisfaction, ungrateful.
Oh, just be thankful for the position that you have.
You're on the team.
Oh, look at that, you made it to the team. Like, the team is winning because of me. Give me my respect.
I'm saying, give me my flowers.
Hello?
If I was gonna get in trouble, let me get in trouble.
Right.
But let's keep the same standards for the rest of the people.
Keep that energy.
that you are trying to cultivate in this team, this environment that you're trying to cultivate for this team.
Right.
Why is it only specific for me?
Because people are stupid in the simplest form, but also it's just like they don't want to see you be better than
the next.
Everybody.
Entirely. Yeah, entirely.
Yeah. Especially when it's something that's like a natural gift. If you have that natural ability to
terrified.
Perform, outperform the other people on the team in your league, whatever the case may be, that's intimidating to a lot of people.
They're petrified.
Because they don't know how to handle that.
Entirely.
And it's like, that is a you problem, that is not a me problem. So fix the way that you're doing things, because you're taking out your frustrations and your aggressions on me unfairly. Like, I'm a kid.
Precisely.
I'm here to have fun, but I also have that competitive spirit, so I want to win.
Entirely.
So just because I am naturally better than all of you other people doesn't mean that I should get punished when I only speak about myself while others are talking about me and they get the same thing. That is unfair. And that teaches a bad lesson to kids too, because it's like you can't try hard, or you can't express your frustrations, or you can't be naturally good, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. You can't, and get the benefit of it, but you can reward bad behavior.
Entirely. Yep.
That's a problem.
Yep.
We definitely need to get away from that as a society, especially in, when it comes to women's sports, because they never do this with guys.
Professional, collegiate,
never on any level, high school level, collegiate. I mean, literally, and I think this thing now where they have where kids get the trophy for just participating is teaching terrible lessons.
I completely agree.
That's a terrible lesson.
I completely agree.
It's like, oh, you get a trophy just for showing up. No.
That's not how life works.
That is not how life works. You should, if you come in second place, you come in third place. If you lose, you lose. That's a lesson. Take the lesson from the loss and, figure out how to apply it.
Enough is a trophy. Take that from the experience.
Exactly.
Getting a tangible award that reflects nothing, to be honest.
Participation trophies. That's the same thing, which this is a little off topic, but how I feel about giving kids graduations from kindergarten. They're not expected to move from kindergarten to first grade. I'm confused.
Yeah.
Or you're not expected to go from the 5th grade to middle school, or you're not gonna go from middle school to high school.
Is that not the bare minimum? Is that not the expectation? What have we come to?
We having graduations from going to preschool to kindergarten? That's stupid. Yes, everybody should know their ABCs and numbers by the time they get out of preschool. Duh. But no.
Since COVID, sure.
No, listen. Okay. Because you said it, not me, but I'm going to digress.
That's a whole tangent.
Because we're going to talk about that double standard when we get to education and academia later on in the season. Trust and believe. All right. So now we're going to go into what's happening in women's sports overall. Let's get into some track and field. All right, so speaking of track and field, this summer, as we know, we had the Olympic Games in Paris, which was, the Olympics are always a super big deal because it's only every 4 years, and, the best athletes in the world, they train for this 16, 17, however many days event. For most, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. For those that are really talented, they're able to compete, maybe 2 or 3 Olympics, because that's a 12 years. That's a long time. Yes. That's a long time for an athlete. And it's so competitive because, you have the Worlds, which is always the year before. And it's just hey, if you do good in the Worlds, then, it's you're a guarantee for the Olympics. Pending you don't get injured, that type of thing. But I want to talk about these double standards that, some of our women face, especially in track and field. Now, in our last episode, we were talking about just double standards women in sports, and we talked about basketball, gymnastics, swimming, all that other kind of stuff. But we did not touch on track and field. Track and field is not really a huge thing in the U.S., except for the Olympics. It's like not that big when it comes to college, even though, a lot of our track and field stars over the years have come from like great collegiate programs. But our track and field like rivalry that the U.S. has with Jamaica is like legendary for the men and the women's side.
For my entire life.
Yeah, it's always the U.S. versus Jamaica. What other countries in track and field? Nobody. It's the U.S. versus Jamaica. That's it. It's either Jamaica is winning or the U.S. is winning. And
for sprinting especially.
100, 200 meters, hurdles.
Yeah.
The distance is always seems to be like, somebody from Kenya or Ethiopia.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not mad at that because, that distance running, that's a lot. But we would be remiss if we didn't talk about this controversy that happened this summer with Shelly Fraser-Price, who is a Jamaican woman, Olympic legend, and Sha'Carri Richardson, who has faced her own challenges because she smoked a little tree. Now, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with smoking a little tree every now and again if you help you feel better or relax yourself, or maybe just go to bed because that's what you needed for the day. But the issue that came about was when they did not tell them about the new entrants and they made them walk.
Yes.
Yeah. So, how do you feel? How do you feel about that?
Watching it play out, because everybody is anticipating this event, right?
Yeah, because we want to see them we want to see them.
It is probably one of the most watched events. It's what we have all been waiting for.
Right, for 4 years.
Through all the qualifiers, through all of Sha'Carri's up and down, her personal, her accomplishments, all the things. We finally get to see these two athletes together. Right. Finally.
Yes.
The day of.
The world is waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to see it.
And then they had announced that those who weren't staying in the Olympic Village were not made aware, or by the Olympic Committee, like by the Olympics themselves, of the new entrants.
Right.
But it was supposed to be in the hands of their team. They basically just delegated. When it should have just come from the top, it was delegated regardless. These two athletes missed out on this amazing opportunity.
Sounded very intentional to me.
And if it was anybody else, they would have opened them doors. The thing is, you don't have to convince the security, whoever it may be, who you are. Everybody knows who you are.
First of all, I look forward to Shelly Fraser-Price and what color hair she gonna have on.
And this might have been her last Olympics. That we can finally have those predictions in anticipation.
She is 37 years old, and I ain't knocking it because she looks better than most 17-year-olds. Okay, her body is ridiculous. She's a trained athlete, and so, of course, she is top-notch physically fit. But in track and field, there's so much wear and tear. On your knees, on your feet, on your back, on your everything.
On your life. It's an insane demand.
You have to dedicate yourself. And for her to be an Olympic gold medalist many times over and get to this point in her career where it's just like, okay, this is probably going to be her last games. Because in 4 more years, she's going to be 41 and nobody is competing at that level at that age.
For sure.
And for it to be
that's just honest. And
it's no shade.
And if she could, she probably would. And
knowing her, she may. She may, because
of this year.
But okay, because she got it like that. But for most people, by the time you get to your 30s, you're no longer competing in the Olympics because of all the wear and tear on your body, because how the training is, because maybe you want to have a family, or maybe you just tired and you want to retire.
Competition is getting better and faster.
And that part too. And for the Olympics to do what they did, it's just like, Y'all knew what y'all was doing.
If it was Michael Phelps, they would have opened the doors.
Never.
If it was LeBron James, they would have opened the doors.
Never done. They never would have done that.
Anyone
else,
they would have opened.
Because I'm pretty sure, you know, Michael Phelps wasn't standing when he was in the Olympics. He wasn't standing at the Olympic Village because he's Michael Phelps.
And she's not regular. Shelly Ann Fraser.
She's Shelly Ann Fraser Price. You better put some respect on her name, okay? Shell Blake.
And like it wouldn't have been anybody else. And that double standard is so blatant. There's no miss. You
I think it was because those two, and the world was like waiting to see this race.
But with that anticipation, you would think that they would help.
Communicated
or maybe transportation, because they
put them on a little cart. Carts that they have, and take them to the area where the holding area that they have for all of these athletes before their race. Because who makes Sha'Carri Richardson and Shelly Ann Fraser Price walk a mile to get to where they're supposed to be? That is ridiculous.
If it was Usain Bolt,
they would never. They would never make.
They wouldn't even considered.
No.
So that is just one of the many blatant.
It was disrespectful.
We can't even hide it now.
It's just like, we don't like y'all, and we know the world wants to see this race, but we're not going to give it to them. Because even though Sha'Carri eventually did go on to win the gold medal in the 100 meters, Shelly Ann Fraser Price, because they were like, you got to walk, she was just like, I can't do that and then compete.
Yeah, it wouldn't be wise.
Because that makes no sense. Like, you want me to walk a mile to my holding area
warm up,
with no nothing. And all I have is my bag and my stuff where I'm, you know, and then you want me to walk this mile and then you want me to race? Like, if you're an athlete, if you've ever played a sport, if you have to warm your body up in a certain way, or you could seriously hurt yourself. You can pull a muscle, you can twist something, and that can be dangerous to your physical body. That could be something that could injure you for the rest of your life.
But with that, they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on their bodies in general.
Training, conditioning,
it's an equipment. It's a piece of equipment.
Exactly,
so
coaching.
It's nothing surface level. Like, nothing about them is surface level. So they take care of their bodies in a way that we probably will never comprehend.
Right. You have to if you're competing at that level.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if you're winning gold medals, you have to.
And she's done it so many times.
Yes.
She knows her body. She knows herself.
Right.
So you can't even blame her for not wanting to walk the extra mile.
Right.
To compete.
Right.
And run a subset 10-7.
Right. So let's switch gears just a little bit. Still staying in track and field, girls or ladies, because, you know, we love them. But let's talk about the aesthetic of how they look. Because there's always been this controversy of how women, as particular black women, of how we look on the track and field. Now, I remember when Sha'Carri Richardson first came on the scene, she had these long nails and this long hair with these wigs, and they're all colorful. And I'm just like, get it, girl. Because in my mind, she reminded me of FloJo. I mean, FloJo came under a lot of scrutiny when she showed up on the track and field with one leg out, one leg in. With her unitard that went all the way up to her butt cheek, and then her nails and then her hair would be flowing as she was beating all of the girls. It's just like, oh, no, you can't do that. That's not proper. That's not track and field. Why can't she be more like this person? Why can't she look like this? Why can't she just be herself? We could talk about that, but with Serena Williams, her outfits, the swagger that she
that catsuit,
okay, it lives in infamy. That black catsuit that she had on that one time.
That was medically required. So that's not even like that's medically required.
They did not care. They was like, your butt is too big, your arms are too big, your boobs are too big.
You don't fit.
You're attracting the wrong attention. It's just like, no, her body is banging and y'all are mad.
But yeah, when it comes to those track athletes, there's so little you can do to be individual or personalized, especially when there's uniform or, whatever. You have to meet their qualifications.
Right.
If you could have a little bit of personality, it's just taken all out of context. It's just completely blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
So, no,
I think it started with FloJo, with her, like, bringing just herself to the track. And then there was a continuation with Gail Devers, who... If y'all don't know who Gail Devers is, she is also an Olympic legend, gold medalist, who overcame really physically debilitating disease in her childhood to become a track superstar. And she had the nails that was like curve, and she had the flowy hair, it's real curly and stuff. I love Gail Deaver, shout out to her. But they like paved the way for all of these other girls to, you know, come behind them and do the same thing. And Sha'Carri Richardson, like, they wanted to hate her so bad.
They still are trying to.
I mean, they do. You know, because she has the nails, because she wears the hair, because it's like colorful, and you know, she just does what she wants. She has these tattoos, and it's just like she's unapologetically herself.
Yeah.
Which I love about her. Yeah. And it's just like they judge her harshly because she's young. Because she's like, this is the life that I'm living, this is the way that I'm gonna live it. And then if she doesn't perform in the way that they think she should perform, then they're just like, oh, she's all talk, she's all, you know, the hype is not worth it. But oh, she won that gold medal, so y'all can be quiet now.
And an angle with that, I think because she is so young, like the point you said, they're trying to like nip it in the bud almost. Let's start her young. Let's get that confidence. Let's get that cockiness. Let's get that whole idea that you can physically show that you know you're better. Like the expression of it. Starting that super young just to control her career a little bit later on.
Trying to.
Women's basketball, get your attitude straight now, because when you get a little bit older, you get a little bit more familiar with the organization. We can construct you the way we want you. And I think it's almost putting a fear or an insecurity and a little bit of doubt in them, trying to instill that early just so they can mold you into this figure
who they want you to be
later on.
Now who you are. Yeah, you are. Very valid points. So this conversation literally can go on forever because it's so much to talk about. But I would like to thank Eden for coming on the show. So thanks for being here. You'll definitely have to come back. We'll have you again. And I want to leave you with 2 quotes today from 2 just Olympic legends. The first one is from Simone Biles. Today, do what others won't do, so tomorrow you can accomplish what others can't. Simone Biles has, I think, 5 or 6 gymnastics moves that are named after her because she is what? The GOAT. Don't you ever forget it. And then the other one is from the legend heptathlon athlete Jackie Joyner-Kersee, who in her own right just accomplished so many things in her athletic career that have not been done since, because she is what? That deal. The only person who can stop you from reaching your goals is you. And we're going to leave that there for right now. So come back next time because we got more to talk about. Thanks for tuning in to the LB Show. We hope you learned something today. The conversation doesn't end here. Send this to 2 people and keep it buzzing.